to Digital Learning Day here with North Carolina Virtual Public Schools. We have with us today Mr. Don Lursey. Don Lursey is a professional learning director at North Carolina Virtual Public Schools, and he's here today to share with us the top Google Chrome extensions and apps that will supercharge your productivity and student learning. So it is my pleasure and my honor to introduce Mr. Don Lursey.
Hey, thanks, James. I appreciate it. I can't tell you how excited I am to present to our first annual and inaugural Digital Learning Day virtual conference. I'm so excited also because I get to talk about the very thing that I love when I play in the sandbox and when I learn and I innovate and I create. And so today we're going to be talking about if you use Google Chrome as your primary browser, hopefully I'll be able to give you some real powerful extensions and apps that have helped me, as the title slide says, supercharge my productivity and student learning. Now, I do not work directly with students, but I work directly with the adults who work directly with students. And so this is not only going to supercharge your productivity as instructors, but also provide you means to enable and to help your students learn and grow in the way that they use their Chrome extensions. Now, I gave you a link. This link will also be available on our events page for you to access this presentation. And you can see it is a bit.ly link. And so if you want to type that into a new browser window, you can kind of follow along on the specific presentation slides or the slide deck as I move. And so I'm going to, as I get ready to advance to the next slide, just know that this presentation will be available on our events page itself. And you can find it at bit.ly/top-Chrome-extensions-apps. And it is case sensitive, so make sure that you have those specific hyphens and capitals. So here we go. So when we talk about extensions and how to find Google Chrome extensions and apps, and I'm not sure what your level is, either beginning to expert, but you can find your extensions in one place. And so I've given you a screenshot here to help you. So if you're in Chrome, you're going to go, there's to the far right of Chrome, there is the options icon or the customization icon. You click on it, then you choose more tools, then you choose extensions. And when you open up that extensions page, if you don't have any extensions, you can see on this screenshot of my desktop, you can actually see all the extensions that I use pretty regularly, and most of these I'm going to talk to you about today. And I'm going to jump out to the web and kind of let you see some of these in action kind of thing. And so once you click on extensions, it's going to take you to your extensions page. And so every extension you saw on my toolbar appears in this page. And then at the very bottom, your next step, your fourth step, is to click Get More Extensions. Then it will take you to the extension and app and theme web store, your Chrome web store. Actually, you can either search for any extension that you would like to find, and or you can see down there at the bottom as well, it gives you kind of the latest extensions, the newest extensions, the most popular extensions. And I chose in this instance just to see what it would look like if you clicked on Screencastify. Now, although I'm not presenting on that today, that is a great video capture extension for teachers. And so I chose that. And then once you click on that, it will take you to the actual extension page. And then you can either add it to Chrome. You can either first read the description of that to make sure that it fits your purpose and fits the value of what you intend to use. And that's going to be always critical. You choose the specific extension that is relevant to your needs and to your student needs and to your productivity needs. I think that's very important. Just don't be using extensions to be using extensions. Although it is kind of cool to get in the sandbox and experiment and play, And that's what I always do before I deliver it, or before I model it, or before I show it to my fellow team members or teachers, and so forth. And then you can add it to Chrome, and it's a simple process. You click the Add to Chrome, and then it does the work, and then it's going to add it. If it's an extension, it's going to add it to your toolbar. If it's an app, it's going to add it to your app page, and I'm going to show you that a little bit later in this presentation. So let's begin first with the very first. Now this is a pretty cool extension. Now at NCVPS, in our professional learning division, we have a paid account for Snagit and Camtasia, which is part of TechSmith, the company, but they have a free extension. And so if you can't spend all that money, and of course I am all about free, most of everything that I show you, and as a matter of fact, all but one of these extensions and or apps is free. There is one that I'm going to share with you later in the presentation that is actually a $2 charge, but it's well worth the money. So I'm going to jump out, just kind of show you this. Not every single extension I will jump out to, but I'm going to actually jump out to this one to show you how this is used. So this is my desktop. You can see all of my tabs that are open, and that's going to be significant in a few minutes when I show you another extension. But let's say, here is the Snagit. When you select it, it's going to come up to the toolbar. So I'm going to click Snagit, and what follows is this neat little toolbar over here to the right. Now I can either capture a region, I can capture everything that is visible. I can, when you look at how this will appear in not only your PC or mobile devices, you can click on what that would look like in terms of scrolling. And again, how do you learn this? You play with it. And so, and another cool thing is you can create video cast and video captures using this extension. But I'm going to capture a region here. So if I wanted to, if I wanted to capture this region right here, I can do that, and then click my camera, and then it takes me to my screenshot. I can either title it Great. Well, let me get up here it's a little slow. So let me show you some of these other features while that catches up. So if I wanted to do an arrow, I can draw an arrow to any particular. I can do a box around anything that I want to showcase here. I can type text by just putting my cursor and says I can type awesome extensions, or whatever the case may be. And so as you're thinking about then how to once you are done with that, you can see that it's still syncing the capture. So I may have a little bit of some lag on my time with this particular extension. This little button down here at the bottom, you can either download it or create a link to it, and then you can send it to whomever you would like to, students or other teachers and so forth. So let me go back. I'm going to come back to the presentation so you can see using Snagit. I've also, when you get access to the presentation slide deck, you can have the extension. You can actually access the home page where the extension is located, so you can download it. And once you download it it will say added to Chrome. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. And Jay, I just want to give a pulse, just make sure that my sound is still coming through, because I had some delay there just a few minutes ago.
Don, you're absolutely perfect.
Okay.
I haven't heard the delay at all.
Oh, perfect. All right. So this next extension, all right. So you saw just a few minutes ago how I had all of those, and I'm going to come back to them, but I had all of those tabs open. Now you want to talk about draining on your juice, or draining on your productivity of the specific browser. Oftentimes can slow that down. You saw it happen with the Snagit extension. And so OneTab is a brilliant feature that helps you to collapse all of these tabs into one tab. And so I'm gonna find my my OneTab. It's this little extension right here. You can see it, and so I'm going to click it, and you can see what it did. It put all of my windows into one tab. So when I need to go back to that specific when I need to go back to that specific presentation, like my Google Chrome's extension, it will open up automatically into the window as I need that. And so you can see that it collapses, and it really kind of drains on the productivity, or it kind of helps the productivity of your particular browser, so you're not trying to do too much with the as you're building you're using you want to leave your tabs open, you want to be able to make sure they're available for your work, and it just kind of helps create a process for you to have some to not weigh so heavy on the productivity of Chrome. And so and this is only available, these extensions are only available in Chrome. And so I'm going to pull up a couple more of these, because it's going to relate to some of the things that we're going to be doing with our presentation here in just a few minutes. Okay, so I'm going to open up those three, and then I'm going to come back to our presentation with OneTab. So again, another great productivity extension. All right, so our next extension is the Great Suspender. This is another, when we talk about all of those tabs being open, sometimes, it goes to it's the same process as before. When you have multiple tabs open, it just drains on the productivity of the browser. And so let me show you what this looks like. And the cool thing about this is, with this specific extension, it gives you the ability to, and it does it automatically. You can either tell it to do it yourself, or you can after a period of time, you can set kind of a time limit to where your tabs will be suspended. And let me show you what that looks like. So I opened up these tabs here, and I did these purposefully. You can see this is my bookmarking app, Symbaloo. Here are some Google Docs, but you can see each one has been suspended. So it's technically not in use. And so if I want to access it again, I just simply left click on the specific this specific space here where it says tab suspended, click to reload. And so you can see that all of these will now, if I leave them as is, they will ultimately suspend themselves. But if I wanted to suspend this tab, I can simply click on this is the extension. You can see the little face here. All right, you can then suspend this tab automatically, manually. Otherwise, it will do so on its own after a specific amount of time. And so I'm going to open up my inbox, because this is going to come, I'm going to be showing you another extension here in a few minutes. So let me back to the presentation. So you had the OneTab and the Great Suspender. Those are real great productivity tools, at least in terms of causing some drain and some use and some intensity as you're working through. If you leave those tabs open up all day, it will slow your production down. All right, so let's go to the next one. Now this is a great email. An email extension that I discovered one day while playing in the sandbox. It is a free unlimited email tracking. It is an extension, but it also connects to your Gmail. So for your at ncpublicschools.gov account, you can use Mixmax. If you use your personal Gmail account, Mixmax is a great tool. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to come here. I'm going to open up my inbox. Okay, you see all my some of my links here. So just a couple things with Mixmax itself. You can see here it has the actual icon for Mixmax, so I can automatically advance to the site for Mixmax. It also, in your inbox or in your left sidebar of all of your labels and all of your specific features of your Gmail, it has a place here where you can launch Mixmax, and you can see this various schedule emails, mail merges, template snooze, signatures, and then your settings. And so this is what it looks like. So if I wanted to compose a mail, okay, I can create the color scheme that occurs here. Now, if I want to, you know, I can simply toggle back and forth from Mixmax and the interface of Gmail. But the cool thing that I like about this is that it has, down here at the bottom, you can see it has so many great features. So if I want to, in an email, if I want to create an event poll, I can. If I want to do a calendar invite, I can. If I want to create pollings, if I want to do a survey, a yes, no, if I want to embed media, a couple weeks ago with my TNT instructional leaders, we were about to roll out the new cohort for the spring of TNTs, and I embedded a Giphy, which it takes me out to the site. It allows me to upload one of the a funny GIF or a serious GIF or one of those images that just kind of keep playing on a cycle. So I could do that. If I wanted to insert or embed, I can do that. If I wanted to do a PDF slideshow, if I want to embed an image, or you know, you can even embed a math equation. I think that's a pretty cool feature, especially for our math teachers. So a lot of great resources here to enhance your email, from from tweets to your Twitter timeline, especially if you want to have that as part of your signature line. You also have the ability to attach a file either in your Drive or Dropbox or Box or your computer. You can send your emails later. This is a pretty cool feature that kind of helps enhance your email. You can create a link. You can do. It's got tons of emojis that you can choose from to establish your email. Now, the other cool thing, last thing I'll talk about this, is it does allow you to create templates. Like if I wanted to do form emails that I send to our PL, our teachers on behalf of PL. I have some form letters. So if I wanted to actually insert this, I can do so in the email, and it automatically gives the subject line. Now, just some drawbacks. I think one thing, you can only send per email 100 people. So if you got large groups, you need to break that up into multiple emails. You can another drawback is it automatically is defaulted at normal, and so when you insert a link, say from Google, it automatically changes the font size. So you have to be kind of careful of that, just to make sure that you're consistent in the way that looks, in the way that rolls out. So if I wanted to do anything with Mixmax, and I'm gonna try to gain access to it over here, I can simply click on it, and it takes me out to kind of my dashboard. And so I can do mail merges. I can change my templates here. So if I choose a Canvas template, I can change that and then save it, and then it automatically syncs with my email. You can establish your settings and so forth. So that's Mixmax. Great extension, and it's going to appear like this in your Google Chrome, but it automatically syncs up with your email. So great tool. It's been a value add for me as in the multiple emails that I send, and I can also enhance each of those emails. So that's why I like it. I think it's more robust than your standard email from Google. Okay, so that's Mixmax. All right, our next one. Now, have you ever found an image online and you wanted to know where it originally came from? You know, when we talk about copyright, when we talk about intellectual property, when we talk about appropriately using images, TinyEye is a reverse search image extension. Okay, now that's a mouthful. So let me kind of show you a couple things that I want to do. I need to go out and grab a link that I was going to use for this particular. I'm going to go to Edudemic. All right, just to show you what this looks like. So here we go. All right, so this is a great, just FYI, this is so totally unrelated to my presentation, but this is a great resource for you, great blog to follow. But I'm going to just go here to robots in education. I'm going to click on this blog post. All right, now you see this. This is a great a great image, but you don't know, has it been modified? Has it been transformed? Who originally created this? If you wanted to create and kind of track back appropriate citation. So I'm gonna put my cursor over the image and I'm gonna right click, and you can see that my extensions come up here, but you can see that I can search this image on TinyEye. And so I'm going to choose that, and then it's going to open up in TinyEye, and it's giving me 12 results. Okay. And so you can kind of unpack each one of these to see how the image has been altered, who was the original publisher, so that you can give appropriate credit for that. You can see somebody here has done changed the look, the aesthetic look of the image, and then you can simply either go to that specific page where it is. Another cool feature of TinyEye is you can compare the match, and so if you wanted to see what other versions of the specific image is, you have your image, the one you clicked on, and then you can look at the image match to see what the original or perhaps what another image might be there that is of comparable use. And so you can see, and then there's a couple more pages for that. So that's TinyEye. That's TinyEye reverse search, and so you can actually go to the site itself. You can either download the extension, or you can go to the site and search an image on its web-enabled source. So that, I think that's a pretty neat feature for as an extension, especially when you're looking and you deal with images a lot, so that you can give appropriate attribution. All right, so here is, I just discovered this a couple days. This is Docent EDU, and you want to talk about bringing websites to life. This is a great extension. You can kind of see the features of it here, where you can add text, you can add comments, you can add questions, you can add highlighting and so forth. And the cool thing is you create a link for that specific website that you can then send to students based upon your dashboard. And so I'm gonna kind of show you what that link looks like. So give me just a second to access the website that I wanted to use. I'm going to use this Smoop website, since the Super Bowl was not too long ago. I pulled up this article on the Super Bowl and the culture and whatnot. Well, this seems like a pretty decent, if I was dealing with pop culture, or if I was working with students on how to evaluate content on a website or what have you. This is the extension right here for Docent. So I can click on it, and you can see it automatically launches a toolbar over here to the left. And so if I wanted to toggle highlighting, so if I wanted to highlight a specific piece here, and I'm just going to highlight that first state, it automatically gives me that highlight. If I wanted to add a sticky note, I certainly can add a sticky note and say this is an interesting, of course this is on the fly, so it's probably not going to be as robust, but this is an interesting fact. Are there other facts? All right, so you can post a sticky note. That sticky note will appear. You can see how it breaks up the text. If I wanted to add, of course, I could have added sticky notes might be more for notes and some sidebar comments. You have a place to, if I wanted to insert a question for this specific section, I can, who is, this is just again on the fly, okay? All right, and why? Okay, so and I create this question, and so this gives the class themselves the ability to respond to this question, but they can respond directly here into the text. And so I'm going to try to go to the, I'm trying to find it here. So let me see right here. So if I want to go to my dashboard, if all went well, this will create, this docent was created on my dashboard. And then I can assign the I can assign the specific article website to a class. If I created a class, you can see you have the ability to create classes. And so I can either assign it to a class, or I can directly share it, and then students can comment, post questions, can respond to the questions that have already been posed. So that's Docent EDU. Now the free version is you can see I have 5 available at the free version. And so, that might be enough for you. Or if you want to have more unlimited, of course, you can subscribe to that. There's always the premium option to these free extensions, but I think sometimes the free might be enough for you. I'm not sure. So anyway, that's a great tool, I think, for you to evaluate website content, to create, if you're using a website to enhance instruction, it might be a great way to, as a priming the pump kind of thing, to get students engaged. Or even if you're dealing with adult learners, it might still be a great way to engage in the discussion and in the content. So that's Docent EDU, and so I'm going to X out of these and go back to my presentation. All right, so Docent EDU, the extension is the actual website to the extension is there for you to pursue and look at. All right, next, I have a huge social media presence. I love social media. I think it has such power and such implication for professional learning, but also for student learning. And so, have you ever just had the one extension that kind of rules all the social media extensions? So rather than having an extension for Twitter, which I do, and having an extension for Diigo, which I do, having an extension for Facebook, which I do, I found this great extension that kind of rules them all, if you would, that allows you to be able to click one button and post whatever you want to post to a social media stream. Okay, and so let me show you what that looks like. So up here, I'm going to go to, let me go back to my Chrome extensions here. So if I want to post this presentation, I did put it public on the web. I can also click, this is the AddThis button. And so I can actually tell it which social media streams that I want it to go to. So if I want to send this, I could either send it by email, I can either print it, I can send it to Twitter, I can send it to Facebook, I can send it to Diigo or Stumble Upon, or through my Gmail, or what have you. Now, if I want to add more, if let's say your social media preference like Pinterest is not listed here, you can go to options, and then you can find your specific, and I hope this ain't gonna make me a liar, so let me see if I can find Pinterest. So if I want to pin it, I can choose that and then add it over into my my AddThis extension. All right, my changes are successfully saved. Well, let's just go see if I put that into practice. And then now you can see Pinterest, pin it here. So, but now you can see I also have Pinterest up here. I have Diigo up here. I have Twitter used to be up here. I may have deleted it. But this just helps kind of put it all in one place. And so sometimes, like if I want to pin something to 3 different places, I will use this and pin it on Facebook, pin it on Diigo, pin it to Pinterest, or what have you. So this is a great, I think, a great extension tool for you if you want to be able to have multiple means of posting to your specific streams. All right, so hey, here's a quick one. This is a quick feature. I found this the other day. I actually used it in a presentation on last Friday. Great visual timer. It's called OneClick timer. And so let me show you. So when you add that as an extension, in fact, it will show up. It won't show up in your extension toolbar here. It has a specific tab that it opens up each time. And so if I wanted to set my timer here, I've got 15 minutes, in fact, to finish. So I've set it, and now it's counting down, and it's going to have it's going to run its course. If I wanted to make it larger window, I can. I'm going to exit full screen. This lets you know that the timer's working. If I wanted to refresh it or repeat the last time, so if I did a 2-minute one last time, I want to repeat it, I can do that. And then I can set my sounds. So I can click that and it will either come up, I can mute it. And then if I want to change my sounds, this is a pretty cool feature. I can either have change it to a musical, guitar tones. I can, I'm trying to get this to hover over that. It gives you the classical sound, and I think this is one of those annoying sounds. This is one of the alarm sounds. So I can either share, this, if you want to share this extension out, you can do so by that. But it's a cool little feature. It's simple, it's easy, and it is. I'm gonna pause my time. But I think it can, and if I want to cancel time altogether, I just hit that X. Very simple, but also I think it's very bright. And if you have speakers connected either in a face-to-face environment, you can use it that way as well. So that's one-click timer. So I hope you found some potential use for that. So here's another great tool. Look, I'm an English guy, a former English teacher, and so having a Google Dictionary handy that does some pretty remarkable, that gives you some pretty remarkable data, if you would, on particular words and so forth. So if you have this extension located on your computer, for instance, so I'm gonna come back over here. I think I had a link to kind of show this or model this. So I'm going to use this. So I chose, a site on world religions, world religious groups, just to see what this looks like. So there's the extension. I think that's, the Google Dictionary. All right. So if I wanted to just look at any particular word itself, so I highlight, okay, and then I come over here and I click Google Dictionary, and it will bring up the word. It gives you as part of speech the various definition usages, if you would. Is that even the word? And then you can see very very simple, but also very accommodating at that moment. And it also works in Google Docs and things like that. And I know there are, like with Google, there are some built-in checks and things like that. But this is a quick, if they're on a website and they need to understand language, Google Dictionary is, I think, a pretty powerful feature. And there are multiple languages that you can select. You can go and read. You can go and read what that looks like. So I would be remiss if I did not talk to you about, okay, well, how do you keep your computer protected from all of these extensions you're downloading? Well, there's a great extension called Shield for Chrome. There's the link to that specific app, and so it basically will look like this on your toolbar. Let me go find it. Here it is, right here. So I can click it, and then it will automatically get all of my specific extensions that I have, that I use or have used at some point, and it evaluates them, and it measures them against malware, and if there is any malware found on that particular current extension. And you can see there's no known malware on any of these extensions, and it's continuing to monitor that. So when you add a new one, it monitors that, it checks for that. So I think that's a pretty good feature to be able to, especially if you're concerned, and we ought to be concerned about security and things like that. So Shield for Chrome is a great feature. Okay, now the last couple that I want to share are apps for for Google Chrome. These are not necessarily extensions. You find them the same way, but these are apps. And so these apps will appear on your apps page, and I'll show you where that's located and how that's located. But this is a great work management workflow product. I think the free version is very robust, and I'll show you just some examples of Trello and its uses. And so I want to show you how to get there. And so here's my my desktop again. Here's my browser, and I've got my bookmarks across here. And Google Chrome will always give you the apps icon over here on your bookmark, and or it will give you the apps feature down here at the very bottom. And so I'm going to choose my apps over here, and I'm going to go to my Trello app. And so when you go and search for Trello, you will load it to Chrome just as you would extensions, but it will say that it's an app. And so it's going to give you, or it's going to show you where it's going to download. And so this is my dashboard. I really have really three primary boards. These boards over here were done just in time when we were developing some professional learning here that my professional learning team used to kind of coordinate responsibilities, to coordinate topics, to coordinate deadlines, and so forth. And so I want to show you, this is our PL Big Rocks and Horizon projects Trello. And so a couple things in here that I think are pretty neat in the way that this fleshes out. You can add and create columns, if you would, and each column could represent a major task. This can be for personal use, this can be for professional use, this can be for just managing your time, managing your flow, your workflow. Here we talked about what our development needs are, some of the things that have been used over the last several months to even a year. You know, we keep this and it's ongoing and it's consistent. And so we have our development needs. At the time when we were working, we had our specific team members listed here who had responsibility in that. You can see right here in Fierce Conversations, although this has already been put to bed because Jay has done such a wonderful job with that. And so if I wanted to move this over to my completed task, I certainly can. And each one of these represents a specific card or specific task. And so if I wanted to open up this assessment and feedback, I can upload attachments, I can upload links, I can attach members or membership here. I can create checklists of things that are due for that specific item, or if I wanted to do to-dos, I can simply do that and add item, set deadlines, for instance, okay, add, and then it comes up as a checkbox. And so when I click on it, it's gone. I can select a due date, specific time or specific value for that. And then it sends me, I can set my notifications and it sends me emails of when those specific tasks are due and who's responsible. There's a voting feature. This is a new feature, by the way. I can subscribe to this specific card and or this specific board so that if there are multiple people that are invited to this, then they can have access to that as well. So Trello, you can change the color. Now, the premium version allows you to do all kinds of wonderful, great aesthetic looking things where you can upload pictures and things like that. But the free version is so robust, you don't need that. And so you can move columns around however you see fit. You can subscribe, you can set calendar notifications. And then if I show my menu here, I can add members to, they have to have a Trello account. So I have to add members to my to my group and to the work that we're doing for that. And then you can see that. So that's Trello. Great productivity tool. I think a great workflow tool. Can be used for personal, can be used for family. When you look at different responsibilities, chores, things like that, it can work with development, lesson development, lesson planning development, and various sundry of activities. So that's a Google Chrome app that you can get at the same Chrome web store. So let me share with you this last and final app that I want to explore with you and share with you, and then give time for some questions. And I got some final links to show you right after this to kind of help you if you want to dive deeper. Now, this is the only paid app that I use, but have you ever noticed when you're using Google, when you're using Google Drive, Google Documents, Google Presentations, those kinds of things, that you don't ever get notifications when someone updates that file. Now you do get, and you can set notifications for Google Sheets. When someone completes a form, you can get a notification that somebody has submitted that information. Well, this is the folder notifications for Google Drive. And so if you want to create or provide notifications on a folder, so let me show you what this looks like. And this is one of the, to me, has been one of the greatest productivity pieces for me, because now I don't have to guess when someone updates, and nor do I have to wait for an email for them to tell me that they updated. I get a notification immediately and instantaneously. Well, I shouldn't say instantaneously, because I set the timer for every 2 hours. So every 2 hours I get notification that someone has submitted or somebody has changed a document. So let me show you how this works. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to go back to my apps. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me open up a new window. All right, so I'm going to open up a new window and go to apps. And so here's it is an app. So when you find it, you can search for it. It is folder notifications for Google Drive. So I'm going to click on it. And this is what it looks like. And it gives you, its interface is very simple. So I connect it to a specific Google account. And then look at this, man, I got like, 1,500 email kinds of quotas for that particular for this particular system. And so I set it for every 2 hours. But here are the folders. These are these 3 folders right here: professional learning, vendor approval, and teacher and training, and ELL are my primary 4 folders that I've got to monitor all the time, because that's where the core and the bulk of our work exists. And so what you do is, if I want to add a folder to this, I'll come to my Google Drive, and let me go back to my Google Drive, and let me see if I can find well, it's just going to be easier to do it this way. So I'm going to go to my Google Drive. If I want a specific folder itself, and I'm going to click on one folder. I'm about up on time, so I'm hoping this will hurry. So let's say if I wanted to do our advisory board, for instance, I will click on this folder. It has a link up here. This is the link to this folder. So if I wanted to actually add this to my notifications, I would insert this folder here, and then it should add that folder right here. So now I'll get notifications every time the advisory board folder is updated. Okay, let me show you what those notifications look like. I'm going to delete this because I don't really need to see that every time, because we have a different system in place for that. But I'm going to delete that. But I want to show you what it looks like in my Google. Where is it? Right here. So I get a folder notification. This is what it looks like. So it breaks it down by folder: professional learning, vendor approval, and teacher and training. And it gives me some thumbnails of what documents have been updated. Most of these, I will say, this one right here, it was updated by me, updated by me, updated by me. But a lot of these were not. And so it gives me, especially when I have vendor approval course submissions from reviewers that are coming in, and they're coming in all the time, then I'll get updates of this underneath this folder. And it just gives me a great reminder that I can go and access those folders when I see that there's something that has changed, so I get notification of that, and that just gives me a sense of relief, I think, for that. So anyway, so as we close up and as we wrap up our presentation today, let me just share, and again, this is going to be made available on our events page and also archived in our YouTube channel. And we'll send details out regarding that. But here are some other robust links to go dig and explore further. Some of the extensions and apps that I shared are located here. Some are not. There may be some new ones that I just didn't add to my presentation. So you can explore those yourself. But what I would like to do, I'm not so necessary. I would love for you to take down this as we close. Take down this URL: bit.ly/Google Chrome extravaganza. This is a form that, or a spreadsheet rather. No, actually, I'm sorry, it's a form where I'm collecting what's your favorite Google Chrome extension or app. You may use something that I haven't learned or haven't thought of, and I'd love to hear and see what you have, and I will get notification from my folder apps, my folder notification apps too, when you do so. So I hope that you spend some time with that, and also these links will be made available on our events page. And then if you want to see what others are responding, this is the link to that as well. bit.ly Google Chrome extensions responses. So Google Chrome extensions responses. Just remember the hyphen in between. So you can look and see and explore and discover together and learn and lead together. And so I hope you found some value to this. I hope you found something, maybe one extension that just blew your mind, that you will go and you will say, woohoo, I am going to start becoming a Google Chrome extension ninja. So I hope you got some good pieces there. And so with that said, I am done, and I will leave some room for if there are any questions. I know we're up on time, and we got to be able to give some transition for our next presenter. So I'm done, and I'll open the floor for any questions. If not, we will stop broadcast. And thank you for coming.
Thank you guys all for being here. Don, thank you. I know I picked up some tips and some extensions that I plan on installing and using. I also want to let you know, Don, that there's been a lot of positive feedback in the chat here in the room. Thank you all again. I see no questions. Guys, have a fantastic day and a fantastic digital learning day.